Good day, ladies and gentlemen, dear experts. Thank you for coming to this session, which is called Trends in the Business Formation, new focus of attention for business in countries of Asian Pacific region. I'm representing the Higher School of Economy of St. Petersburg, an economic director of 2 master's degrees, which is working in the field of Eastern sciences. First is countries of Asian Pacific region and business and policies of Asian countries. So what are we going to talk about this today? This year, the Eastern Economic Forum has been talking about education a lot, and according to the information, we have only 5 such programs in Russia. 2 out of those are headed by me, and they are in the Higher School of Economy. And our university has a great expertise in this area, as no one else does, and especially when we're talking about the region itself. Please switch on the slides. In short, what we do and how vocational business education is implemented in the Higher School of Economy. Here in the slide you can see that the pool of our programs has more than 1,000 different options. On a yearly basis we invite more than 40,000 listeners. You can see the top 5 popular programs are now changing year after year, and this time, just like last year, it's headed by data science, the psychologist consultant, and data analysts. Despite the fact that Russia is aiming at East right now, and it has been doing it for quite a while now, we can see that in the most of the universities, the profile programs on Asia and the region of Asia-Pacific are not so popular in the universities. Usually is the general business and understanding of business as is. I would like to share some statistics with you. Last year we had the Week of Career, and our partner, the Headhunter company, which is the leader of the markets of labor search, they created statistics and they shared what new skills have to be learned by the educator who know the East are most required. And here you can see the statistics. Number 1, it's not Chinese. You would expect it to be Chinese, because most of the people in the media would write about how Chinese is popular, how many people are learning and Chinese in Russia, but we can see that in order to be demanded, you have to know English first of all. Next, I highlighted it in red. You can see 7 skills, which are soft skills. The educated speech, the teamwork, business communication, etc. Things which are required by the specialists in order to be successful in the international business. While I had some time this morning, I spoke to my colleague from India, and we discussed the fact that in most of the cases, the complications in the business communication between Russia and India is in the cultural aspects. We do not know the culture of each other, and it's not the language which is the main obstacle in the most cases. It's the absence of knowledge of how to culturally communicate between the countries and the representatives of the countries. What are the outtakes that I recommend to my students and the companies that I consult? First of all, do not hesitate to address the experts. Today we have wonderful experts from different companies and universities, and I would like to highlight that while you are saving money on the expertise, you are wasting money and you're wasting time. Of course, you have to learn regional specificity of the region and the country, and even if you know English very well and you have been working with Europe and US, so these are not the Asian Pacific region is not homogeneous. So, and the countries are different, so you have to know about each country. You have to learn the skills of intercultural communication. So you have to learn trends, you have to learn marketing of each country, and our colleague from China is going to tell us about it. I recommend you to support your work with different organizations which are working with the Asian Pacific region, including the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. so in the center of the expert support, etc. And Russia has lots of organizations which are ready to support SMEs, to consult them, to provide them with different capabilities, including financial supports, in order to develop their cooperation with different countries. And I wish you all to start learning languages and, of course, address the good interpreters. So you have wonderful interpreters during this event, and it's a great chance that you can find such good interpreters. We'll speak about it a little bit later today as well. Let us move on to the experts. I would like to give floor to Ms. Jaminyan. She will be online, and she is the counsel to the chair of RSPP on digital marketing and digital and e-commerce. China has the biggest middle class across all countries in the world. And of course, they are the main consumers of the segments of the middle level and the luxury brands. Most of the sales are done in China through e-commerce. Yesterday, we spoke about the necessity to learn such platforms as Taobao, JD.com, and Alibaba. Ms. Chen, could you tell us, what is the nature and characteristics of e-commerce in China, and what does Russian business have to do in order to remain in the agenda? Good day, dear colleagues, dear participants of the forum. It's a great honor for me to participate in this forum, to share the information on e-commerce and digital marketing in China with you. Let me share my presentation. You can see the presentation, can you? Let me introduce myself. My name is Jan Minyan. I am the counsel to the chairman of the All-Russian organization, Russian Alliance of Industrialists and Entrepreneurs on E-commerce and Digital Marketing. The topic of my speech will be marketing and e-commerce in China. These are the consumers of the channels of promotion and sales. I'll be speaking Chinese, and we will have simultaneous interpretation. I hope that my content is going to be more interesting to you this way, and maybe even clearer. Let us begin. First of all, let us take a look at some numbers represented here. As of now, $1 billion of users across the internet is using e-commerce platforms in China. And the growth of this number persists. E-commerce is developing, thus increasing the amount of users. China develops internet rapidly, as well as different apps. The usage of different platforms is becoming more and more popularized in China. You can see the numbers in a slide. As of now, China has the following notion. If you are not in the Chinese internet, nobody knows you and nobody sees you, because the internet is the main channel for promotion of products. In most of the cases, we use different apps to promote our goods. The same as the foreign analogs. We have WeChat, just like WhatsApp in the West. We also use other apps which help us to sell different products. China has a range of users right now who are using the apps on the smartphone, and some of our Chinese colleagues also use apps used abroad. Speaking of platforms and different tools, I would like to highlight the following. The following platforms are Baidu and Sogo, Tencent, which are used in China a lot. Everybody knows that everybody is using search engines, and some of the search results are being retransferred to Chinese servers. And if you need to promote a particular brand on platforms, the optimization of search mechanisms occur. Moreover, I would like to highlight the following. When the search request is entered into the search engine, identification of a user occurs, and thus particular brand is promoted through the platforms. So when different brands are being searched for, we use particular platforms to disseminate the search. Thus, particular brand becomes more recognizable. Next, I would like to highlight the key step that you have to take. If we're talking about foreign enterprises, they can use different platforms, they can use search engines, and through, for example, Baidu, you can look for some information about these enterprises. Moreover, blogging is developing. Different platforms are developing. All of that is happening on the internet platforms, and as of now, different mechanisms are used which allow companies and enterprises to get to the end user and to satisfy their demands. Thus, D2C model occurs. Due to social media development, more and more tools appear for the users. These social media is used in B2B segments as well. And I would like to say that the enterprises which are showing interest to Chinese markets start using WeChat, and this is a very efficient tool. WeChat has a wonderful user-friendly interface which helps you to promote different products. And it uses the same channels as other foreign tools. A couple of words on WeChat. As of now, 1.25 billion users are using WeChat, and it has a very good speed. It has a very good database to work with the users. The age of the WeChat users is 20 to 70 years. As of now, both men and women are using WeChat. Here you can see the ratio between the men and women on this slide. Speaking about the interface, it is very user-friendly. All you have to do is simply introduce the number, your user number, and then you can see the profile of the user. You can add this user to your friend list. If we're talking about enterprises, using WeChat. It also is a good platform. Every day, lots of users use WeChat. 360 million people are doing it, and there are 360 million views every day.
So here we can see the system of WeChat or Weixin. We can see every aspect in which has the system working, and actually we can see a lot of similarities with the TikTok system. We can see a lot of channels to promote and provide information. For example, we can publish some videos. You can also promote some products. You can search people, and you can also use some different functions. So actually, WeChat is composed of different modules. It allows us to use this platform in different ways. Actually, a lot of people here, I'm sure you know and have heard of TikTok. So WeChat has a lot of similarities with TikTok. So for example, using all of these tools, you can search for some information, or you can search for some products. And besides, you can promote your product using WeChat once again. So I would like to mention also the search engine in WeChat. As of now, we have mentioned Baidu, which is a search engine also, but in WeChat it's a little bit alike, but actually I would like to stress that WeChat gets more and more promoted, and right now it has a lot of users, active users, so the search engine is becoming more and more developed since people are using it to search for some information. And right now WeChat is getting more and more of importance. Moreover, WeChat is a platform which the enterprises can use to promote their production. Our users can look for some trademarks to see their peculiarities, and of course, some other platforms have these functions. For example, TikTok also has it. So our users can first find some kind of a trademark and then contact this trademark using this platform. This is why I'd like to say that WeChat in China is very popular, is very popular tool, and moreover, it's a popular tool for search engine. So the official account of Weixin or WeChat is here, is presented here. So this is why right now the enterprises that work with Chinese clients usually use WeChat. And so the usage of this app or tool is very important because it helps you to connect to your client. And it's important to have an official account in this app. And also, I'd like to mention that this official site of WeChat is also an official account, which allows us to be connected to the client and to find new clients and to use it to give some new information, to connect to other platforms, including Taobao, TikTok, and some other platforms. And finally, reaching your goal and promoting your production. The next thing I'd like to mention what kind of account types we have in WeChat. First of all, I'd like to say that we have a functional account, and the second one is official account. All of them have their functions and some peculiarities which are presented here on the slide, and they are devoted to publishing of information or discussing with clients and with subscribers too, and also to look for news or products. As well, you can use it to promote and give some extra information, but if you use official account, the peculiarities, the main peculiarities are a little bit different. These functions can be used to work with different platforms. For example, if we need to purchase something or to sell something, or if we need to contact the client, we can use such an account, an official account. As of now, we are promoting different business models using such a commerce, for example, B2C. This B2C model is realizing on different platforms such as Baidu, WeChat, etc., and TikTok too. And as of now, the internet is the main channel to purchase online, and the development rates are really rapid. And we also have mechanisms such as Tmall Global, and we can sell something in online channels, and we have reached a great success in this direction. If we speak about other countries, for example, Western countries, and they have some different peculiarities. They also have e-commerce. Some of the moments are similar with China, but some other moments we have difference. For example, I'd like to mention that in China, a lot of mostly women are the purchasers by e-commerce. And also, I want to show you the main functions of social media and marketplaces. For example, we speak about e-commerce. The main functions are selling, purchasing, live streams, translation, broadcasting, discussions, etc. Next, I'd like to say about the official sites and marketplaces in China. These are they are very important, and they are promoted by influencers. These are some e-commerce platforms, LRC, BD, Douyin, or TikTok, etc. All of these have some peculiarities, and using every one and which of these channels, we can promote different trademarks, because the rates are not similar sometimes. For example, if we speak about one of these platforms or about TikTok or Douyin, we can see that using this platform you can promote your product really effectively. And then I'd like to say that every client in China has a lot of an access to a lot of platforms, and they have this access and opportunity to get this product, so you can promote your product easily. So let's take a look at KOL, which is key opinion leader, of course. All of the platforms in internet. We have some influencers, bloggers, and celebrity stars that have their own importance and weight, and they play this role in promoting products, and they can promote their product in using their videos. So KOL is key opinion consumers, which are presented in Chinese internet too. So and their influence on the promoting of the product is even more important than the opinion of the influencers. So this is why when we talk about the Chinese internet, we think that the main skill is the streaming skill. Let's also speak about this B2B tool. And so we can use such a tool, B2B, using Chinese TikTok Douyin to promote our products from business to business. So how can we promote such businesses and services in China? So first of all, we need to get some kind of a platform, some certain platform, concrete platform, and after that we need to understand the demand of our customer. And I have already mentioned today that we have some main platforms and main means. So, for example, using WeChat or Weixin, we can promote our products or services for our clients in WeChat. And moreover, we can make the trademark more and more known using WeChat. Also, I'd like to mention that I would like to express gratitude to you for listening me today, for having me today. Thank you. Thank you very much. This was really interesting. So take a look at this, at the slides. So these are some main means which are used in China. So it was WeChat or Weixin, and there are a lot of other platforms which I used. So it's Douyin or TikTok or Xiaohongshu. So thank you very much. Miss Jen, you can, so as she has mentioned, you can promote your ideas or product when you don't have WeChat, if you don't have it. For example, here we also have the WeChat account using which we give some new information and we promote it to Chinese students. In Russia, they also usually have WeChat accounts, and I also suggest you installing a WeChat account to see some Russian enterprises, for example, Splat, and some other companies. So 2 weeks ago, we were at the educational event, and I would like to say that in China people don't really use visit cards. They use WeChat because it's easier to contact there and to send the files. But we also know that in order to get WeChat, we need some specialists who can speak Chinese, or they come from China, and they are ready to work with Russians, and they are ready to work using the Russian language. So I'm going to ask our next speaker, Tatiana Urysko. She is the winner of the laureate of the competition, and she has taught a lot of Russian students Chinese language. So what is the main problem with teaching people, Chinese people here in Russia? So a lot of experts say that a lot of people are trying to speak Chinese here in Russia, but not all of them. A lot of people fail. So what can the companies here in Russia do, and how can we solve this problem with lack of people who can speak Chinese here in Russia? Thank you very much for your question. This is very up to date. So dear organizers and colleagues, good day. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you very much for having me here. So as we have already mentioned, I work at the I teach Chinese, and we have a lot of profiles, and we have a lot of professions and specialties here, which can help you to start speaking Chinese. So we have a set of questions here, and we have some problems with linguistic support here. So this is really important nowadays, because a lot of businesses need people who know Chinese. There are a lot of aspects which play into it, for example, geographical, political, etc. And the demand is growing, is ever growing. It's important to note also that a lot of people are interested in not only translators or linguists, but in specialists who also know Chinese language, linguistics, and
But there is a lot of work to do when we're talking about the preparation of the profile experts in this area. But the profile expert who knows Chinese can solve practical tasks as a part of Russian-Chinese cooperation, as well as communicate with the representatives of Chinese party on their own without any support from interpreters. How does business solve the problem of linguistic support when we're talking about cooperation with People's Republic of China? We have several options. First, working with translation and interpretation agencies. Such companies provide professional interpreters who know Chinese. I need to highlight that the work of an interpreter is extremely difficult. I think that the Chinese interpreters don't have a sleep, at least during the latest several years. Thanks to such experts, many international projects are being implemented, as well as different events on absolutely different levels. It would seem that such an option is optimum, and it's most obvious. However, it is linked to a range of potential questions and matters. First, it is hard to assess the qualification of the interpreter from outsourced interpreter. Of course, recommendations, etc., are not a guarantee that everything is going to be as good as it has been with other clients. Sometimes these recommendations are very subjective. Even if the company is providing the materials beforehand, so sometimes they do not actually. And thus, I would like to address the representatives of business and would like to remind you, please provide the interpreters with the materials beforehand. This is very interesting, and it's in your best interests. So if the interpreter has materials beforehand and they have time to prepare themselves, their knowledge in particular areas, especially if it's some specific areas, might be insufficient, and the terminology might be limited, which would affect the quality of interpretation. The interpreter might be very good during the first and welcome meetings, but they might fail during discussion of particular details. If you manage to find an expert who knows Chinese better than anyone else, who knows the profile of your company better than anyone else, the price for such experts might be much higher than the market price. And I would like to remind you that such experts are most demanded, and probably they might not be available due to being occupied by other tasks and projects. And of course, matter of confidentiality. Interpreters immerse themselves into many details of the cooperation, and you have to remember it because sometimes particular information revealed to third parties might influence the project itself. Moreover, the expert has to know both your specificity and Chinese on a professional level. So it would seem that this option should be number one, but actually we put it to the second place. Why? Because it suits companies which are aiming at long-term relations with representatives of Chinese business. And it's relevant, and it's available in areas where such experts already exist. the profile experts who know Chinese. They exist thanks to many years of coordinated work between universities and customers. I have a wonderful example here. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russian Federation and MSUMO. They prepare the experts according to the order. The universities are expanding their programs of teaching Chinese. In the year 2022, about 1,000 Russian students have been studying Chinese in 142 universities. Thanks to such universities, engineers are appearing in the market, ecologists, experts in the agriculture who know Chinese. And, of course, the advantage of such experts is obvious. They have all the professional competences, and they are capable of communicating the representatives of business without coming to an interpreter. And, of course, despite the fact that it has great advantages, there are still problems. First of all, knowing technical specialties both together with the Chinese is rather complicated. Even on the level of separate programs in the universities, we can see compromise, whether it's accent on the specialty or the language. Another problem: sometimes universities are not preparing the experts in Chinese in the area you might need, and if they do, the demand might be too high, and the universities might not make it in time to provide for enough specialists that you require. And even most capable graduates have to be capable of taking time to learn the area that you want them to work in. And the third option, the organization of teaching Chinese to those who are already working in the company. If the company wants to have long-term relations and in the future there will be lots of projects, then this option is both logical and it's necessary. Advantages: the professional staff already have rich theoretical and practical experience. Learning Chinese is going to add language competences to such background, and it's going to help you to provide the linguistic support when working with Chinese partners. Efficiency is going to grow due to the fact that the experts both know the terms and they are experts in the area of linguistics. The employees who are working in the project are motivated to provide quality relations or interpretation during the meetings with Chinese partners. However, despite the fact that there are lots of positive sides to it, there are still problems. Corporate teaching and education might cost the company a lot. The training requires a lot of time. It is at least 2 years in the best case scenario, and you want to have the experts who knows your specificity and is capable of providing the interpretation, then it's going to be to take even more. The more complicated the profile of the company is, the harder it is to find the experts who are going to help you with that. Speaking about the formats of organizing the corporate education, there are lots of offers in the market, the coaches, the tutors, the courses, etc. But we believe that the best option is always organizing the vocational professional education. Such programs can be created together with the profile universities which are teaching Chinese. Why vocational education? Because the universities are educational organizations which are being checked on the quality of services they provide. The universities have teachers and professors who are capable of preparing good staff, and the universities have experience of building up working programs which have all the information on the goals and the amount of hours, etc. And independently of what option the company chooses, you have to remember the quality of the communication, which matters a lot, which can influence the work just as much as the economic foundation of the project. Several examples. Our strategic partner, China, is the state with huge history and culture. The cultural peculiarities influence all the communication areas, and business communication is a part of it. Knowledge of culture, knowledge of protocols, and behavior is very important. Terminology in Chinese is only basic knowledge. If you have this basic knowledge, it's wonderful. However, it doesn't guarantee the quality communication. When you work with Chinese partners, you have to remember their communicative behavior and their habits, and of course the architecture of the business environment. Without such knowledge, you will have a false knowledge and false understanding that you are incapable of finding an agreement with Chinese party. Thank you very much. I have a question to you. I have been working in business for about 10 years in top management of a large company. We had plants in China, and we always had this question: what is more beneficial for the company and the business? Do we hire an interpreter, or shall we actually employ an interpreter, which is not that cheap? What do you think? Which is more beneficial for business? To complement the staff with an expert who knows Chinese, to have good salary for this person, or should it be the project activity to invite some good interpreters for the projects? Well, thank you very much. It all depends on the nature of each case. If it is just once and there won't be much projects in the nearest future, then I believe that everybody would agree that the best option is to invite an external interpreter. But if the company is aiming at long-term relations, then inviting the experts with Chinese only is to employ this person is a good tactic. And here we're talking about the profile expert who knows Chinese. This is optimization of many working processes. Thank you very much. I can see lots of young people in our audience hall. Could you please raise your hands, those who know Chinese or any other Eastern language, or you study it? Are there such people? 1, 2, 3. Okay, few people. I can see few people. But I would like to highlight that China and Asian Pacific region are very popular among Russian students. And China is a very good old partner in education for us. And many students want to go to China to get education, to get a bachelor's degree or master's degree. We remember that COVID, despite all the problems, brought some positive notions as well as online education started developing, in Russia included. And Russia has a lot of things to offer to China and Asian countries, including the educational platforms. The next question goes to the following expert, Mr. Derevyanko, the Vice CEO of Special Economic Zone of Industrial Production Zone Avant-Garde of Export Center of Russia. What do you say? Can educational platforms from Russia conquer Asia, and what are main obstacles on this road? Good day, dear participants of the forum. Good day, Miss Moderator. Speaking Chinese. Thank you very much. You have wonderful Chinese. You speak wonderful Chinese indeed. An interesting fact about China: if you have been to China or you study the nature of this country, we all understand the level of the development of the technologies in China. And there are two interesting things I just have to mention. You have seen the transport infrastructure of China: 3 stories roads, high-speed trains. You can imagine the investments in the infrastructure from China, and we do understand how China broke through in the latest years technologically, and how much money is invested into fundamental research. Just imagine the budget of People's Republic of China is higher than 2 of these expenses articles. Chinese are aiming at educating their nation, and some educational products, programs, educational platforms have a great potential in China. Thus, based on the Russian educational platforms and IT products, I would like to highlight that there is a great potential to enter the Chinese market. Until the beginning of pandemic in year 2020, I had a chance to work with a big Russian company, Sprint, which created the platform to create particular online courses, tests, video lessons, and you can use this platform to organize remote education process for the employees of the companies, students, etc. For about half a year, we have been studying Chinese market. We had meetings with representatives of different universities, large corporations, where such platforms and products might be demanded. And what conclusion did we draw from it? China is open to different new products, but there are nuances. The previous speaker, Ms. Jan, said that in order to open an account in WeChat, you have to follow particular requirements. You have to register your legal entity on the territory of China, you have to get special license, etc. The same problems were faced by us when we wanted to enter the market. If we want to work with Chinese universities and other educational facilities, they have their own demands on localizing the educational programs and products. Different universities have different demands. The product has to be at least 30% consisting of the Chinese. It has to have Chinese footprint. It has to be in Chinese. All the capacities have to move to Chinese service. You won't be able to work with Chinese university if all the data is going to be stored on the Russian server or any other server. So in order to have the capacities on the Chinese service, you have to get ICP license, which allows you to do the internet activity in China, etc., etc., etc. But in general, Chinese market of educational platforms and vocational education is very open in universities. I think that all the colleagues from the higher educational facilities are going to agree that Chinese universities love to exchange students, love different exchange of experience, some common conferences, the research, etc.
The usage of such educational platforms in Chinese universities also exist, and also it's important to meet their requirements. So this is why for half a year we've been doing this very actively, and we've been discussing our promotional opportunities since a lot of things can be applicable even for selling such products in China. Because, for example, we wanted to promote it via social media and to make some courses for the enterprises using such platforms, etc. And so, in order to understand how to get onto the Chinese market, I'm going to agree with my colleagues. If we don't have an experience, we need to reach out for the specialists and some people who could help with some nuances on the stage period. Moreover, there are some universities in China which are interested in some extra educational programs, because, for example, in Russia, we made some Russian software in our facilities and factories and checked if it worked all right. So when we made our first sales and we realized that the tendencies show that the market is going to grow. Using this software, we started to develop and promote these educational programs in programming and in IT technologies, etc., using Russian software. So the Chinese universities also made some requirements and demands, and they said that we needed to get some level of entering the market. So, for example, in one university, they said that when you have reached the 5% level of Chinese market with your Russian software, we can give you a new opportunity and a new program in which you can use to teach your students, so that the Chinese students could use your software to program. And so also the corporational sector, we need to mention that the platforms and the educational programs are really, really popular. So we've made about 50 meetings with some companies, and a lot of them use iSpring, but Chinese equivalent. So the bigger company, the bigger the demands for localization is. So if the company is quite small, they pay attention to the price, so they can get not a very good localization or something else. So also we have this marketing legislation and sales legislation. So to conclude, I would like to say that I agree with all of the speakers, previous speakers. Before you get into Chinese market, you need to prepare. And also this market is very interesting and it has a lot of potential, and I'm sure that our colleagues have a lot of things to promote in Chinese market, and if we get a right approach, we can succeed. So thank you very much. I want to speak to the youth, to the people who actually, a lot of Asia-Pacific region countries have these educational programs, and you probably can be lucky and go there, and you can even get some grants from Chinese government or some Confucius institutes. And if you have some time and you are ready to go to China, Chinese universities suggest all of these courses which can make you understand the local specifics of China. So if we speak further about the educational peculiarities, I would like to speak to Iskander Isaev. He works with China professions. So you have a big expertise in working with China. I would say that you use a lot of online format and you use it to work with the people from all over the Russia. So what is the first thing we need to know about China and Asia in general to make this educational programs successful? Thank you very much for having me here, and this is my presentation. So I'm going to agree and continue the topic of Mr. Mikhail. I'm going to say about this educational product and some clients which need Chinese-speaking professionals. So let's see what we can suggest on this in the sphere of working with China. So first of all, three zones of my expertise is making educational product, which is mostly online. The second one is recruiting. I've been working in it since 2008. It was long before I went to China to live. I've been living in China since 2011, and I've been working in Alibaba Holding. So we worked with Chinese universities in order to give people the opportunity to learn Chinese language and to get their diploma. So this was really, really popular before the pandemics, and we started with the extra educational programs for the tourism sphere, and then when we get the when we get into this pandemic times, we had a lot of people who were free and they knew Chinese quite well, and we started developing some extra courses, which the main goals of which was to give the jobs to people. So people who have raised their hands, this is for you. These free zones of expertise are becoming are working with our agencies. First of all, this is our agencies that work with bigger Russian enterprises and less with Chinese enterprises. We have only 3 Chinese enterprises right now working with us. But anyways, so the Russian people usually, Russian holdings look for people, for professionals who know Chinese and who have this experience with working with Chinese language. So today I would like to tell about some of the skill set of this team in your companies. I'm sure that here we have some entrepreneurs that have their own businesses. I actually think there are a lot of people who work in small and bigger businesses, and they work with China, and they promote their personal brand or some kind of a technology to Chinese market. And these are some enterprises that work partially maybe with Chinese market. They, for example, purchase some details in China, etc. So take a look. Here I'm speaking about the skill set of a team, not of one person in particular, because such a person is usually really rare and very, very expensive and high demanding, because such people, they are very rare. But here we have 4 parts, 4 aspects. First is general skills. Is it like project manager or lawyer, etc. We have some management skills. These are on diagonally. They work with Chinese specific, so to say. And if we are the clients, and if we sell or purchase, it's a whole different story. And if we work with some governmental projects or investigational projects, it's also a different story. The third one is the base of our company. It's the ethnicity factors. We usually study this when we are in the linguistic universities and specialties. And the fourth one is like intercultural abilities and skills. This is the ability to be able to speak to people from different regions. Nowadays, a lot of people from different companies, they have a demand in such trainings in which the experts are people from the specialties of Chinese who have lived in China and who have high expertise in these fields. Let's speak about the work with some regions in Russia. So we speak about 3 types of products. The first one is motivational, which speaks that we can do anything we want. So doing this, we pump up the market, and this is really useful and needed. The second one is informational product. And here we have some nuances. We have the courses which are being read by the experts who know the field, but they don't have this the opportunity to assess if you have the right knowledge. So it's just like the material you get. And the third one is the educational product, which can be used as the skills, as extra educational projects, and we are working on such projects. And I hope that our partnership company is going to be bigger, and we can get more businesses and corporate education to work with this. And so the result of both of these 3 types is different. We give different types to different specialists that have different demands. So if we can give a new skill set, or we can give higher monetization, etc. In the accelerational product, we also give to the entrepreneurs some information on how to lower the risks. In corporational education, we help the holdings to enter the Chinese markets as in sales or in purchases. And also, I'd like to speak about the cases. So the first one, we speak about accelerational product. It's DAO and partner. This is for entrepreneurs with smaller or middle-sized businesses. It starts with a screening, which is a poll. The poll is being conducted. We get some information on if people are ready to work with China, if they are ready to import to China, so some analytics of product, and then this product ends up with the session in which we have to set our goals for 3 months, and we have this support because this accelerational product suggests that we go together hand in hand to this result. So first of all, we get some information about our goals, and then we speak about our products, about our certifications, logistics, customs, etc. And they have to get this certification. When we started working, when we were just starting, we had this set of criteria by which we judge if this educational product is applicable and sufficient. And we are really glad to work with people in regions of rare languages. We also do this analysis of market, and we get some speakers. They need to have expertise, like 10 years or so. It can be post-pandemic things. It can be speakers, expertise, etc. And you need to have a skill set. The second one, you need to be ready to methodically work with the product, because if you want to make it one-time thing, we don't work with that. So it's like a promotional platform, and we are not a promotional platform. We are an educational center. The third one, we want the product to give the digitalized result. We give this roadmap, we give this steps, we give this tracking, not with the help of students, but with the help of an expert after every consultation. And after that, we have a qualificational work, which could be a project. Like if we speak about the Chinese specialists, if it's a manager in digitalization or a manager in purchasing from China, etc. We also get ready with the new products in chief study in China, which is also launched in China, and we use a lot of analytics in here. We are going to speak about it on the 2nd of December on our next forum. We can give this in a form of some forum if we speak about acceleration projects. Thank you very much for your expertise and your experience. So we've spoken a lot about China here, but we also want to speak about India, the other partner. I would want to introduce Dr. Avinash Chandra Josh, who has flown across the world from India. I would like to mention that India is a very competitive country, and in India there are a lot of people living, so this is why it's a very good opportunity for us. Also, India has the most young people, because if we speak about China, even in China the rates of the population getting older is really high. So I would like you to see India as a good partner too. So what are the spheres in which we can collaborate, and what are the difficulties which can be met by the entrepreneurs?
Are the Indian colleagues ready to work with us?
Yeah, thank you, Ludmila. Indeed, it is a pleasure of visiting Republic of Bashkortostan. I'm very happy to be here among so many experts from various countries. My greetings from India. I would like to start my journey in India, which was with the Russian collaboration. I started my career in power industry in NTPC in 1990, when we were establishing a power project in Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station, a power station in Madhya Pradesh in India. It was being established with the Russian collaboration. There was a Russian company, Technopromexport. And rather than going for this, my PowerPoint presentation, I would like to share my experiences and how it built a very strong bond between India and Russia. That power plant today is the largest power plant in India, generating 4,760 megawatt of electricity. That is the biggest, even bigger than the Russian power plant. I had the opportunity to study in a university, Jawaharlal Nehru University, where there was a strong, a very good Russian center. A lot of students in India were learning the Russian language. The exchange programs between India and Russia in the time of USSR was very high. Somehow the times have changed, and today I see it is all China everywhere. So it is good because China is strategically very close to USSR, but India has always been not only strategic partner, but we have a strong connect. For example, I Street Das Capital by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. The Indians know very much about the Russian Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. So it was all taught to us in our country. And there were a lot of cultural, very strong relationship between USSR and India. A lot of Indian families were being shown in Russia, the Raj Kapoor films. So I could see that such a strong cultural link with Russia, but somehow over a period of time, we could not continue with that. China, no doubt, is the largest manufacturing hub of the world. But we have to see that India now is emerging very fast. It is now the 5th largest economy in the world, and by the year 2030, we will be the 4th largest. So a lot of developments, especially in space. Recently, our Chandrayaan has landed on the southern side of the moon, the first country in the world to have done so. So in the field of IT, India is the leading nation in the world. All our IT experts are there, whether it is USA, Europe, wherever you go, you will find all the IT companies of India doing so well. I was hearing about the Chinese software and all that. But let me assure you that there are certain areas in India where we have tremendous potential to collaborate. It is in IT is, of course, one of the main areas. And other than that, when I came here or landed here in India, I saw great opportunity in tourism. Because the Indian tourist today is all over the world, but not coming to Russia. Why? because somehow Russia has not been able to project its places, its beautiful destinations, its rich cultural history, because you have to show, you have to popularize your destinations. I am fascinated and thrilled when I landed here and when I saw that the life is monochrome, black and white everywhere. So that was such a fascinating thing, and the Indians really do not get such opportunity to visit. You can showcase, and then another thing is the language. Language is not a barrier, because when we talk about culture, our eyes, our facial expression, the body language is very strong in communicating. Let me share with you that in India, there are more than 30 official languages and more than 750 dialects. So we are managing so many languages and dialects, so managing the Russian language should not be all that difficult. I assure you that if we strengthen the cultural ties as it was being done before, and we have more programs for the students, the exchange programs where the students can visit our universities, learn about our culture, learn about those areas in which we are very, very good. And I'm very happy that Ludmila has visited my town. I live in a very small town, Dehradun, in the northern part of India. So she has visited. I invite all of you to come and visit India, and let's strengthen the ties. How much time I have? I'll just like to show the, this is the Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station where I started my career way back in '88, and today it is the largest thermal power plant of the India. These are the traditional areas. In fact, last 70 years, Russia and India were very, very strong partners in defense and military collaboration. You will find that the T-20 tank, now known as Vijayant tank, the technology was given by Russia. The space cooperation was very strong. Our first man, Rakesh Sharma, went to space in a Russian craft. Nuclear, all the nuclear power plants, when nobody in the world was ready to give or impart that technical know-how, our power plants have been established with the technical assistance of Russia. We indeed are grateful to Russia for empowering and making it a very, very scientifically advanced power. Cultural and educational exchange, we have talked about it. Counter-terrorism and security, these are very, very big areas of concern for the entire humanity. The way things are being done all over, hacking and all that. This is one area where both of us have tremendous potential, and we can jointly collaborate in this area. Healthcare is another area. Now India has become a very cheap destination for healthcare. Lots of people from the Middle East and America, even from America, are going to India for the medical benefits, as it is economically very, very cheap. Almost 25% of the cost for the medical treatment in India. And this is some of the advancement which India has done in the recent past, which I'd like to share with you, the India success story. One is the Aadhaar card. You know, the single identity card for the entire population. For the entire, I'd like to show you if I have the card. So there is one card, and this card is the identity of each and every Indian. More than 1.5 billion population, the largest population in the world. We have been able to store the information. This card is linked to all the bank accounts, for all the transactions, for all the benefits to the population. So single card is a big enabler for the entire population, and they can be given all the facilities. UPI is another very important area. UPI, this is the banking system wherein through application, all the bank accounts are linked, and you can do all the transactions through your mobile application. Let me share a small thing with you. Yesterday, I tried to use all my cards, but I could not use them in Russia. Somehow, digitally, the alignment is not there. So we are living in a digital world. So we need to align the various platforms for smooth transaction in various areas. If you really want to move very fast and forward, then that digital alignment is very, very important. Cyber security, I just said. Digital connectivity, I was talking about that. It is very, very important. E-governance, smart cities, digital health, I talked about, fintech and digital payments. The biggest thing is the digital payments, and the smoother and the faster they are, then whatever business we are going to promote, that promotion will definitely be very, very easy, and we will be able to work with transparency and with a lot of trust in each other. Artificial intelligence has come up in the world as the major intervention. And India is doing very well so far as the artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, all these things are concerned. Startup innovation, because this is one area where we have tremendous opportunity for the youth. The youth can come and connect. Today, India is #1 country in the world so far as the startups are concerned, the MSMEs and all that. And because of the opportunities being given for the startups to start new avenues, to look for new areas of development and growth. So we find that between Russia and India, there is tremendous scope. We need to sit together and talk to each other, have more programs, more cultural exchanges, so that the better we know about each other, the more areas we are able to explore. So it is a journey of exploration and knowing each other. I will not really go into other areas, giving the limited time and opportunity. I extend my warm wishes to all of you for the success of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Avinash. So it was a very interesting presentation. Yes, it's very valuable that you share with us such peculiarities of collaboration, and of course we hope that we will be able to find, some fields for cooperation between Russia and India in future. Я бы хотела еще добавить, уважаемые коллеги, что, возможно, вы не знаете, но в Индии большая часть университетов является частными, то есть после.
So 80% of the educational facilities are private. That is why Indian universities are an example how the universities should work with business. And at almost every university, there are business incubators, and the university is investing into them in order to organize their own startups. And during our visits throughout the cities of India, we have been to different universities which supported their own startups, and they became unicorns. And this is a great advantage. This is an achievement. This is something our universities have to learn and develop, because this is the collaboration between the business and university and science, which we all require and need in order to make our processes more efficient. I would like to move to the last expert of ours, Mr. Berezhnoy, my colleague from the Higher School of Economy, the expert of Center of Projects and Educational Programs in our universities. Dear colleague, can we offer business quality educational products to work with Asia, and whom would you recommend to improve their qualification and expertise? Good day, dear colleagues. Thank you to the organizers for this chance to be a speaker on this session. Thank you very much, Ludmila, for giving me this opportunity. I would like to say the following. I heard a wonderful motto of the International Business Week, the day after tomorrow. We are not looking at today, we are not looking at tomorrow, we are looking at the day after tomorrow, and this is a good thing. I think that the day after tomorrow is already here, in some way. 10 years ago, together with my colleagues, I represent Saint-Petersburg, Higher School of Education. Back then, I was working in the government of St. Petersburg. And after the government, I moved to a Chinese company. Well, it's a Russian company, but the top management is Chinese. The owners are Chinese. And then I got a chance to immerse myself into this industry, and I had this understanding that in the nearest future, across all the parameters, China is going to become one of the biggest strategic partners of Russia. The people who have been working in the company were separated into two types: those who wouldn't accept this culture, these conditions, and those who fell in love with this culture and with these conditions. And those who fell in love with these conditions linked their professional career with China in this way or another. And now I can say that the demand from business has finally rose. They want new quality programs, they want educational programs to work with the countries of the East. During the last forum, Made in Russia, Alisa Nikitina, the head of the School of Experts of the Russian Expert Center, was the moderator of a session that was dedicated to the demands of the business in regards to working with such countries as China and many others. Most of the top managers of the large corporations said that we lack programs, and not just short-term programs. One-day program, monthly program. Those have to be the programs, the long-term programs, including those which would improve the qualification and the training and the retraining, requalification programs. And they said that they needed it because the experts have to get quality knowledge. And as a part of this program, they would be able to go for training outside the country. This is a new trend which exists, and we hope that we'll manage to fit in to the trend. Saint-Petersburg campus of the Higher School of Education has prepared a range of offers for the programs, very specific programs. There will be a special program on working with China, a special program on working with India, and I really hope that such programs, together with School of Experts probably, are going to be launched next year. Today, as a part of this session, we'll present an educational program, a 2-day educational program. This is going to be a summarization of a long-term program that we're going to launch next year. What are the main points I would like to highlight in this program? The things that were mentioned by all the speakers. Knowing Chinese is not enough. You have to know the culture. Only if you accept the culture, you get deeper into it. Of course, I'm not talking about China only. It's about India. It's about all the countries, especially if we're talking about the Eastern countries. The cross-cultural interactions, cooperation, specialties of the ethics, of the etiquette, and many other things. This is something we have to start with. We had to immerse ourselves into it. And as soon as we get some knowledge in this area, we can move ahead. The next part is the modern economy of China. Prospects, state of the external economic activities. Exactly what we've heard from Dr. Avinash. The areas of activities and cooperation that can be implemented are within our program as well. And of course, we are viewing specific areas of activities and areas of cooperation with our foreign partners, including China. Next, technologies, new technologies, marketing technologies which are used in China, e-commerce. So what we heard from the second speaker. Yes, there are lots of nuances and peculiarities. If you don't get deeper into them, you won't be able to work with the Chinese partners whatsoever. Next, peculiarities of business etiquette. The business peculiarities, the external economic contract, protection and security of your brand. This is something you really need. It's of utmost importance. 2 weeks ago, one of the potential clients came to us and they said, we worked with China, we didn't make it. We received very bad product. We started reviewing what they did, and they made all the errors you could make, dozens of those, starting with the search for the partner down to the export contract. Not only contract, actually, so the shipment was faulty, everything was faulty, honestly. So those are the things you have to remember. Logistics, you have to understand how you are going to deliver the goods. What are the advantages, what disadvantages, what the logistics schemes are, etc. Next, organization of business.
So next we need to understand some peculiarities of the countries we're working with. If we are present in the country we are working with, we need to sell the products with more income. We can get more income when we aren't oriented on some third parties' opinion when we speak about taxation. And if we speak about some external questions, we need to make sure that in Russia we have this support of external commerce incoming from the government. Such as from some banks, the central bank, the School of Experts, etc. We also have some educational programs on preparing the specialists in these fields, and also we have some support measures of financial plans and some non-financial plans, some free resources, etc. So we need to speak about this a lot because the growth with every year the growth of demand of this support is growing, and this is why I hope that our programs and our next incoming projects which we are going to launch, they are going to succeed and they are going to help us to develop in our fields, and they are going to prove to be really useful for our speakers and our listeners and our clients. And we are looking forward to your feedback, so we can know how to develop our projects and programs. And this is why I think we have this great potential in that we came here to participate in this conference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the experts and the listeners. Our session has come to an end. I would also like to express gratitude to all the speakers we had today. Thank you for the presentations, and to all our members. I would also want to remind you that we have been working with the Asian countries for quite a long time, so this is why we have quite an expertise in this field, and a lot of universities in Russia are ready to work and support and to offer some customized programs in order to send the people to have these internships in other countries and to work with the businesses of different scales. So this is why I really suggest you working with us in this field. I would also want to say thank you to our colleagues from India. Thank you, Mr. Papiniserio, who is a representative of the government of India. I would also like to mention that we aren't limited to China only. Yes, China has a lot of potential, but anyways, in Asian Pacific region, there are a lot of countries, for example, Malaysia, Singapore, and India, which also have a lot of potential, and we only need to speak to specialists and professionals who will help us working with such partners. And yeah, we are going to come to an end with our session, and I really encourage you to come up to our experts and ask questions. Thank you very much once again. We have come to an end.